Hi everyone. It's Georgette. I have just finished writing an English paper about race in America, and I just read Hang a Thousand Trees with Ribbons by Anne Rinaldi. It's a very good book, and I just read a very great article, which I will put the link to down in the description. The description won't have the book title unless you guys want me to. You know what? I'll put it regardless. The point is that I want to discuss something. I know I had a blindness and race video, and it's still on my channel, but I want to go a little bit deeper, and this is kind of something that might be more interactive. I've been sitting around at home having not much to do, and this English paper is all about how would you fix race in America and all these things that have to do with being black. But I'm black, and I can't really relate all the time to what happens to these people in black history books or in history. I found out all types of things about the 1930s and the Great Depression, and I just feel so outside of it sometimes. So I wanted to share this thing that I wrote and see if you guys can relate, or if you have any opinions to share. As a blind person, I often feel like I'm standing outside of my race. Sure, I have the right skin tone and facial features, but I lack the stories of harassment and profiling that a lot of other black people have. Maybe it's me that's the problem because I think that I can only bond with other black people through stories of mistreatment. But what choice do I have? Black History Month is always about fighting for what you need, overcoming huge odds, a zero to hero type story. So in growing up, I always thought that you wouldn't be black enough if you didn't struggle enough. I'm blind. No one talks to me as a black girl. No one is going to randomly feel my hair or try to grab my ass because blind people tend to be stripped of everything about them that isn't blind related. You're no longer a sexual being. You usually don't have a race. You're just blind, and it ends there, especially if you have a cane or a guide dog. So yeah, hearing my sighted cousins talk about their encounters with racism and sexism, I feel really embarrassed for not having those same experiences. Those terrible experiences. Isn't that weird? Is that just me? I don't know. It's like it's like a party that I don't have the rite of passage to enter. I'm too sheltered, but it's not my fault. I've suffered in other ways. Child abuse, the struggles and stereotypes that I face from being blind. Maybe no one will feel my hair, but they might steer me by the cane or by the shoulders, and it comes from almost the same place, from a lack of education. It's just with blind people, I don't think there's such a malice and such a hatred of us as there is with black people. Blind people don't have their own version of the KKK, and no one's going to try to come after us like that aggressively and violently. But is that enough that it only comes from almost the same place of miseducation? How can I complain about simple blind struggles when no one is threatening my life about it and people are threatening my brothers? My brothers go to a school, or used to, where there was a Confederate flag on their building. They were not safe there. One of them is 10 years old. Already he's being told that he's not wanted for something that he can't even control. If I were a normal black girl, if I didn't have a disability or a mental illness, perhaps I might have more things that I think are worthy to complain about, or things that are more worthy for me to be overcoming. So, how do disabled people fit into the conversation about race, or sex, or gender, or just anything that able-bodied people get thrown into by default? I don't know, but I just don't want to keep suffering here in silence. So, do any of you want to start a conversation with me? We could have a back and forth about our experiences with race, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels a little bit disconnected, but I'm sure that other blind people feel very able to relate to being profiled and harassed. I'm glad that I have a platform like this where I can spread my voice and that people can respond to me. But I don't know. Will it be enough? Thanks for listening.